Dear students, in this lesson, let me discuss Margaret Atwood's poem. This is the photograph of me. I strongly believe that you should be familiar with Margaret Atwood, the Canadian poet and novelist. Her work, Surfacing, is very famous. She is the recipient of Booker Prize twice. So if you take this poem, this is the photograph of me, was first published in her collection, The Circle Game in 1964. Especially this poem talks about the feelings of a woman. This poem talks about how a woman is subjugated at different levels. This poem explains and immortalizes female perspective under the male dominated societies. So, this poem voices the experiences of those who feel shut out of their own histories. This is very, very important because, so if you take two persons, a male and a female, with equal caliber, who will outshine in the life? Mostly the male will have the edge. The female, in spite of having so many talents and resources, they are suppressed by the patriarchal society. This has been beautifully pointed out in this short poem. So, if we take as themes, we can call it as feminism, distortion of reality, and the erasure of marginalized histories. So, these are the three important themes that we can decipher in this poem. Now, let's go for the line by line analysis. It was taken some time ago. So, what is it? It is the photograph. So, what I have given in the screen, so it is an example of the photograph. Just imagine, have you ever looked into water? So we have wells or ponds or a bucket of water. Just imagine inside a bucket of water, if you drop a coin or any other object, so they will not, the distance that actually it has cannot be understood properly. So it will look like it is closer, right? So that means, so when something is found inside the water, its true thing cannot be seen. So it was taken some time ago. So the photograph. So something is there in the water. At first, it seems to be a smeared print, right? Not clear print, blurred print. So blurred lines and gray flex lines blended with the paper. If you take old photographs, you can see the paper as well as the print paint. So they become almost inseparable and they become faded over the period of time. So that's why the poet says, so the photograph was taken some time ago and blurred lines, smeared print, blurred lines and gray flecks blended with a paper, right? So it is not clear. The photograph is not clear. So what is there in the photograph? The poet himself herself says. Then as you scan, if you closely look at, scan it, you see in the left hand corner a thing that is like a branch, part of a tree, boss or spruce. It is a kind of the small plants emerging, and to the right, halfway up, what ought to be a gentle slope, a small frame house. So now come back to this picture, a lake, right? Unmoving water, a lake is there, and trees are there, right? And a farmhouse, And at the background, if you closely look at some hills like that. Now that is beautifully described by that. See, first, if you see the picture, it is very smeared. It is not clear, right? But if you scan it very closely, so what do you see in the left hand corner? A thing that is like a branch of a tree is there. Part of a tree, balsam or spruce kind of plant emerging from the left side, it emerges, and to the right, halfway up, that ought to be a gentle slope. A slope is there, and there a small farm frame house is also there. So this is what is found in that picture. In the background, there is a lake. Now closely look at that. So there is a lake, and beyond that, some low hills. So it is also said beyond that, in a smeared line, you can see if you take this. So hills are there. So at a sudden sight, something is not visible. But if you look at that very closely, certain things are visible. Then in a parenthetical statement, so it is, see, so far what was done, it was given in regular lines. Now, so it is given parenthetically. So this also conveys what is not seen. So far from the smeared picture, you find out something, a lake, a background tree, house, and hills. But if you closely look at, you will find something else. What is the something else you find? You can see, so here in this part, something else is there. So what is that? So the poet says, the photograph was taken the day after I drowned. So that means this poem is written after the poet is dead. The photograph was taken the day after I drowned. I am in the lake. So the dead body was in the lake, right? I am in the lake, in the center of the picture. So here you can see in the center of the picture, just under the surface. So I was not above the surface, under the surface. So the woman or the poet is hidden in the society. This lake is the symbolic representation of the society. The depth of the lake is the symbolic representation of the psychological depth of the woman. So you cannot see me at the surface level. If you want to know me, you have to look deeper into my mind, as you have to look deeper into the water to see what is beneath the water. So I am in the lake, in the center of the picture, just under the surface. It is difficult to say where precisely, right? So though I was inside the water, you cannot locate me precisely. Or to say precisely means accurately. Or to say how large or small I am. Another thing, as I am inside the water, as my dead body is inside the water, you cannot understand, you cannot see me how large or small I am. So that means, so when I am inside the water, so that is when I am in the society, you cannot see me, see my real worth. The effect of water on light is a distortion. You can easily see that. So when the light gets reflected, so there is light, it is daytime, but the reality is distorted. So these lines convey the fact a woman is not given her due space in the society. The truth is distorted by the society. In the patriarchal society, the woman is not respected. That aspect has been beautifully conveyed. So how large or small I am, the effect of water on light is a distortion. But if you look long enough, so alliteration, right? But if you look long enough, eventually you will be able to see me. The poet, towards the end of the poem, makes an appeal to the individuals. Dear folk, dear people, if you want to know me, just don't look at the surface. So you look long enough so that you can see me. So that is, so if you want to understand a woman, you cannot understand a woman just by seeing. You have to look deeper. You have to move with her. So you then only you can understand who she is. So this poem on the whole conveys how a woman is not respected in the society. Some critics state that this poem is autobiographical. So, being a creative writer, Atwood was not recognized at the beginning. So, of course, Atwood struggled and came up. But there are a lot of literary writers, female writers, with a lot of quality works, but they are not seen or they are not recognized properly by the society. It is not restricted only to writing career. A lot of other women with a lot of talents, but they are not given due space by the society. This has been beautifully given. The distortion of reality about women by the society is beautifully recorded in this poem. Dear students, I hope this lesson was useful. Thank you. All the best. Have a nice day.